Namaste. As I have launched the new social media theme on political astrology, about which I have already discussed in my 2 episodes before, today we will be taking up the political profile of one of the greatest personality in Indian politics, who is largely discussed and who has largely influenced the political path of the road of the country. And I am well aware it is none other than our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi. He has been leading the country for the past several years with a lot of ups and downs, as critics point out. So, here I am to discuss about only one aspect of the great politician and Prime Minister of our country. He was born on 17 September 1950 at 9:53 a.m. And when he was born, he had Saturn Desa for almost 10 years at the time of birth. It is available on the public domain. So, here what makes his political path or the political road successful as a leader of the country? He has 3 yogas. One is a Mahapurusha Yoga, and another is Nija Bhanga Raja Yoga and the Gajakesari Yoga. You may ask me, is this seen in other politicians and personalities who have led the country? So, that is a different matter, because each discussion will be based on individual profile available on the public domain or privately from their birth chart or a horoscope. So, I literally follow the Parashara's Paddhati or the Parashara scheme of working out my predictions and discussions. So, there may be other Lahiri, Krishnamurti Paddhatis, they are all equally good in their own respects, but I am a follower of Parasharas, because as we know, astrology was found in God's own country in Kerala. It is said, it may be true or may not be, but as far as my knowledge goes, the God's own country had the origin of astrology, and Parashara was, of course, was a native of south and extreme south. So, so I follow Parashara's method, which I find it is better than other Paddhatis in their own way. So, here when you see the 3 yogas of the Prime Minister, you can see the nation is definitely going forward. It does not mean that under the leadership of other prime ministers or the leaders, the country did not go. No, I do not mean that, but the present 3 yogas of our Honorable Prime Minister makes his path or road easy, commendable, approved by majority of the countrymen. So, it is his caliber and the 3 yogas attributed in his birth chart that makes the country growing faster than earlier times. So, this is one of the reasons. So, here it is by default or by nature, our Honorable Prime Minister has 3 yogas because of his time of birth and birth chart. It is because of his earlier karma that he was born in our country with the present astrological combinations. So, here we have no remedial measures required, because by default it has fallen online. Why I mentioned the personal profile of our Honorable Prime Minister is he is talked all over the world currently. Is it because of the combination of the planets and of course his personal efforts and strategies, no doubt. So, the combination of the three, Mahapurusha Yoga, Gajakesari Yoga, and of course Nija Bhanga Raja Yoga. So, that is the reversal of the Nija Bhanga with the Raja Yoga combination. So, this has happened in our Honorable Prime Minister's birth chart. So, likewise, in each episode, I will go into detail the available profile of failed successful politicians in our Indian stream or arena, so that the younger generation who are going to be the future citizens of India, future administrators of India, and several politicians, middle-aged politicians, I am not talking senior politicians who have succeeded or failed, no. But I took an example of our Honorable Prime Minister because everybody knows him today. We need not follow his role model because this is astrological chart that has helped him gain this altitude. So, my analysis of political astrology is definitely meant for the younger generations who are future citizens of India, as I mentioned, and other middle-aged politicians who have lot to cover in the ground for the next couple of decades. So, they are going to be the future administrators, politicians, leaders, workers, strategists, analysts, and so many roles which they need to take up. For them, I am sure these episodes will definitely help them lead their political path or political road by making corrections, by making remedial measures, by adopting remedies if at all required. So, their analysis of the birth chart would definitely decide whether they are on the right path. If at all any remedial corrections are required at some point of time when the planetary combinations work, the combination of the planets will decide whether the person can go on the right road or he need to take a diversion or he need to take a corrected path. So, that is the structure of the political astrological episodes that I will be developing. Of course, as I mentioned before, individual persons can approach me with their birth chart for private discussion online, email or by phone or personally, and keeping the privacy of the profile and personality, I can guide them if they need to choose any remedial measures or if they are on the right path or where they need to be aware of the difficulties, the crossroads, the obstructions that they will come across. So, you can see, as I want to conclude today's episode, when I look at Honorable our Prime Minister's birth chart, though he is facing a lot of criticism, comments and compliments, obstructions in his chart, in his path, in his political road to make the country number one in the world, he has achieved in a long way. I am talking without any political affiliation. I can talk of the same strategy for any other politicians of other political parties or political structures. Because I am referring to our Honorable Prime Minister because he is leading the nation. So, I want to take people to take him as a model, not as a politician, but as a personality who is succeeding in his political path because of the combination of astrological foundations, because of the astrological combination of the planets that is governing him. So, he also might be doing definitely with his prominent advisors corrective measures when he comes across difficulties and crossroads. The same way, younger generation who aspire for a political career tomorrow or the coming decades, they can definitely take a corrective measures and be a what you call a successful politicians in their career. I have several case studies in my profile where I have met with so many politicians, and when they were at the crossroads, when they were having obstructions, when they are having objectionable pathways, critical pathways, controversial pathways. I had given them a lot of remedial suggestions and corrections, and they did listen to the advice. They did adhere to the advices, and today they have become very successful political workers, political leader, administrator, governing a particular state or a particular city. So, for privacy I cannot divulge their names, but at the appropriate time, if it does not hurt the privacy of the person, I will be disclosing the names of the person who have succeeded in their political career with my remedial and suggestive measures. So, finally, I would like to conclude that the three combination of our Honorable Prime Minister is taking him in the right direction, hopefully. In the same way, you can also find out if at all any combinations are hidden. See, this is the most important aspect. Many persons are not aware of their caliber, of their potential, because the political combinations are lying low. You need to rekindle, you need to take it up for the planets to work. Otherwise, it will be just lying low. Many people have a lot of yogas, many of the yogas hidden without their knowledge. So, they need to rise it up, they need to awaken it, they need to kindle it, or they need to activate. This is how my remedial measures will come into their help. So, you cannot invoke, you cannot create a Raja Yoga or any other yogas. It should be inherent in your birth chart, whether it be a political structure or a political party or a political individual. You need to invoke them, you need to raise them, as I said, kindle it, awaken it, and bring it forth and make it more active. So, we are not doing anything magical, we are not doing anything not possible, we are doing everything possible which is already lying low in your system, in your birth chart. So, I will come next with another leading personality who is going to face his political fortunes the next upcoming election in a couple of months, and I have a full political analysis of the person, and I will come up with suggestions how best he could improve his political fortunes. Thank you.